The helicopter was so intrusive. Even if they didn't have footage of me sitting with Molly, they still had footage of Molly, and they shouldn't have been there at all.
7 News tells us it covered the story as thoroughly as it did because it wasn't just a family tragedy. The police media release had raised issues of wider importance, summarised by Paul Caddack in his live cross at 4:30 that afternoon.
Police putting out a reminder that these vehicles, these quad bikes, are not toys, urging parents to make sure that their children are properly supervised and wearing the correct safety gear like helmets.
But that warning could surely have been read by a newsreader in the studio. Why the helicopter footage, we asked.
We accept the point that Mrs. Goldspink Lord was distressed by the helicopter's presence and sincerely regret that.
But that distress was utterly predictable, Chris. A helicopter hovering overhead at such a time is bound to be intrusive. Soon after the air ambulance had landed at Newton Park, just 20 minutes after the accident occurred, while frantic efforts to revive Molly Lord were still going on, family friend Paul Dopper noticed a photographer on the Lord family property.
He was parked behind the rescue helicopter, standing behind the driver's side door of his car.
The police also noticed the photographer, but everyone was too busy to ask him to leave.
I basically said that the family wasn't ready to say anything yet. And I said, look, don't make a song and dance about Molly's death, and please don't put it on the front page.
A waste of breath. This was the Illawarra Mercury's front page the next morning.
Holiday tragedy.
Girl, 13, dies in Kembla Grange quad bike accident.
And there is a picture of the scene with 2 grieving women prominently featured. On page 2, a worse intrusion. This picture.
A woman is comforted at the scene of the accident yesterday. Picture Orlando Kyoto.
The woman is Molly's mother, Linda Goldspink Lord. Her daughter's legs are protruding from the sheet that covers her. In the accompanying report, Molly Lord and her younger sister were named for the first time in the mainstream media without their parents' permission. Peter Lord has told Media Watch,
It's an extremely personal moment, and that photo has gone online. Our friends and family saw it, and it caused them so much distress. A lot of them, we didn't even have the opportunity to make a phone call to them, to tell them what had happened. Wind's coverage did not identify individuals and was taken from a respectful distance.
and that it
believes that its reporting team complied with the Commercial TV Code of Practice,
which says that licensees
must exercise sensitivity in broadcasting images of bereaved relatives and survivors or witnesses of traumatic incidents.
We want a change to the legislation or the Code of Conduct to remove the ambiguity surrounding the media's intrusion on grieving families.
Frankly, I doubt that the law can be made unambiguous. But the Media Alliance's Code of Ethics is plain enough.
Respect private grief and personal privacy. Journalists have the right to resist compulsion to intrude.